Well, hello, people. This is John Unell from Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania, aka John I Fly. It is late Monday night. Actually, it's early Tuesday morning, 12:24 Eastern Daylight Time. So this is very early in the morning, and I didn't even get to bed yet, but I thought I would just make this quick rant. Actually, a few days ago on John Pavlovitz, Blue Dot in Texas live show, I read this article. It's written by let's see here, John, I believe is Pavlovitz. John Pavlovitz. My understanding is he's a progressive minister. And he has his own website, johnpavlovitz.com. You might want to check it out. It's JOHNPAVLOVITZ.com. And the title, I'm not sure if this is part of a book he wrote. I believe it might be an excerpt. I can't swear by it, but it is dated January 24th of 2018, but it's a message that relates today, believe me. And basically, it has to do with the extreme right-wing branch of the Republican Party. And they went all go hung for Trump. They wanted Trump to be elected president again bad. Because he catered to them. He catered to what they wanted. And they had some sort of a strange, if you want to call it, romance. I can't understand why, because Trump was definitely not their ideal Christian. I mean, he came right out and said he didn't feel he needed to be forgiven by God. But anyway, they still latched on to him because he got their votes because he promised them that he would do certain things, like limit a woman's right to choose, if not get rid of it altogether. And of course he had his I should say the religious right had their thing with the LGBTQ community, and of course he wanted their vote, so he said, yeah, I'll take care of that for you, just elect me in. And he got in for one term, and thank God it was only one term. Anyway, the title of this article, and I read it like I said on John's show, but for those who may have missed it, I'm going to read it again here. And just trying to make room for my papers here as I read each paper. But he hit it right on the head, people. So without further ado, let me read this here. It's called Why People Are Through With You. It goes, Dear White Evangelicals, I need to tell you something. People have had it with you. They're done. They want nothing to do with you any longer. And here's why. They see your hypocrisy, your inconsistency, your incredibly selective mercy, and your thinly veiled supremacy. For 8 years, they watched you relentlessly demonize a black president, a man faithfully married for 26 years, a doting father, and husband without a hint of moral scandal or the slightest whiff of infidelity. They watched you deny his personal faith convictions, argue his birthplace, and assail his character, all without cause or evidence. They saw you brandish scriptures to malign him, and use the laziest of racial stereotypes in criticizing him. And through it all, white evangelicals, You never once suggested that God placed him where he was. You never publicly offered prayers for him and his family. You never welcomed him to your Christian universities. You never gave him the benefit of the doubt in any instance. You never spoke of offering him forgiveness or mercy. Your evangelists never publicly thanked God for his leadership. Your pastors never took to the pulpit to offer solidarity with him. You never made any effort to affirm his humanity or show the love of Jesus to him in any quantifiable measure. You violently opposed him at every single turn. Without offering a single ounce of the grace you claim as the heart of your faith tradition. You jettisoned Jesus as you dispensed damnation on him. And yet today, you openly give a mulligan to a white Republican man so riddled with depravity, so littered with extramarital affairs, so unapologetically vile, with such a vast resume of moral filth that the mind boggles. And the change in you is unmistakable. It has been an astonishing conversion to behold, a being born again. With him, you suddenly find a religion. With him, you're now willing to offer full absolution. With him, all is forgiven, without repentance or admission. With him, you're suddenly able to see some invisible, deeply buried heart. With him, sin has become unimportant, compassion no longer a requirement. With him, you see only providence. And white evangelicals, all these people who have had it with you, they see it all clearly. They recognize the toxic source of your duality. They see that pigmentation and party are your sole deities. They see that you aren't interested in perpetuating the love of God or emulating the heart of Jesus. They see that you aren't burdened to love the least or to be agents of compassion or to care for your Muslim, gay, African, female, or poor neighbors as yourself. They see that all you're really interested in doing is making a God in your own ivory image and demanding that the world bow down to it. They recognize this all about white Republican Jesus, not dark-skinned Jesus of Nazareth. And I know you don't realize it, but you're digging your own grave in these days, the grave of your very faith tradition. Your willingness to align yourself with cruelty is a costly marriage. Yes, you've gained a Supreme Court seat, a few months with the presidency as a mouthpiece, and the cheap high of temporary power. But you've lost a whole lot more. You've lost an audience with millions of wise, decent, good-hearted, faithful people with eyes to see this ugliness. You've lost any moral high ground or spiritual authority with a generation. You've lost any semblance of Christ-likeness. You've lost the plot. And most of all, you've lost your soul. I know it's likely you'll dismiss these words. The fact that you've even made your bed with such malevolence shows how far gone you are and how insulated you are from the reality in front of you. But I had to at least try to reach you. It's what Jesus would do. Maybe you need to read what he said again, if he still matters to you. That's a powerful message, people. And it hits it right on the head. Because for some reason, white evangelicals have just fallen for Trump. And I think, my personal opinion and thoughts on this, they finally found somebody that would say yes to them in whatever they wanted. They wanted to legally discriminate against the LGBTQ community. And Trump said yes. Why not? He just wanted their vote. He wanted to strip away a woman's right to choose. That's her right to choose. It's not the president's. Certainly not the government's. And he said yes. Along with his cronies, too. His peons. Yes, the Republican Party is not, it's not what it used to be. And as I said before, I didn't really care for the Republican Party in the past. I may have voted twice. I know at least twice for back in the 80s and 90s for a Republican. But as it stands now, I'd never vote Republican. Never. The party has turned into the party of no, the party of confusion. It's the party of racism. I mean, what else is there to say? I could go on and on and on. They're ugly. Their own platform. Now, my understanding is they didn't make a platform this last election for the Republican Party because they really have nothing to offer. When they were campaigning for Trump for his first and only term, they had a platform made. And I'm sure if you Google it online, I believe it would probably be under the Republican Party of the Republican Party platform for 2016. Google that and read what their plans were. I did. Trust me, it was not loving, it was not friendly. So that's basically about it. I wanted to get on and read it again because I don't know how many of you actually get to listen to John's live show. I'm sure a lot of you do. But for those that missed it, I did ask to read that on the air, and it's so true. It is so true. This coming week is going to be an interesting week. They're most likely going to be voting Liz Cheney out of her leadership position come Wednesday. And we have Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's a bizarre couple if I ever saw one. They're going out and having a Make America First campaign. Well, we saw what happened when they tried to make America first under Trump the first time. We don't need to have that happen again. People, if you're smart, you're not going to vote Republicans. Because the way it stands now, there's a lot of extremism in the Republican Party. And they've influenced the Republican Party. Donald Trump has a hold on the Republican Party. I call it the Trumplican Party or the Trumplican Party, whatever. But it's not the same. And we're going to have to fight for our rights. Now they're trying to restrict voting rights. That's especially going to affect the African American community and the Latino community. So we got to keep on our toes. And I'm going to cut this short because I am getting tired, but I wanted to get this out. I'll probably do something a little more detailed during the week. I wanted to get this out toward the end of last week. It didn't work that way. And frankly, I kind of like hibernated over the weekend. It got unusually cool here in the 40s and 50s. So I more or less relaxed and watched TV and had my coffee and just kind of like stayed bundled up. But anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch and listen to me. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, we're still in a pandemic now. It's getting better. We're getting more people vaccinated. But keep washing your hands. And when you're indoors, wear your mask. It's not too bad if you're vaccinated now. If you're vaccinated, like if you had your Pfizer and Moderna, and you had your 2 vaccinations, and you had like about at least 2-3 weeks after the second shot, your body should have the immunity build up where it's just about 100%. I think my Pfizer, I think it might be 99.9% or something like that. You're covered. But still wear your mask if you're indoors, because you can still pick up the virus. It's just that you may not get as sick, if at all, having the vaccine. So always remember to wear your mask indoors. And if you're outdoors, don't stay in groups. Just, you don't have to wear your mask outdoors as long as you're not in groups. It's better to be safe than sorry. And always wash your hands for at least 20-22 seconds. But it's getting better day by day. Just hang in there, people. I would think by maybe July, it should be a little better than what it is now. But take it day by day. All right, have a good night. In this case, it's early morning. I will talk to you later this week. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, be sure to share this too with your friends. All right, and by the way, John, there's your shirt, a blue dot in Texas. Or are you shitting me? That's the shirt. It's a hoodie, and I had to wear because it was cool today. Not as bad as it was yesterday. But anyway, okay, I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy and stay safe, everybody. Good night.